We are live. We are live with the final episode of the year, along with our Nosferatu episode, and we have a very special guest with us today. One Groovy Kaiju, aka Aaron, who y'all may remember for Godzilla -1.
Yeah. Thanks for having me for round two.
Good to have you. It was legitimately one of our funnest episodes. Like Nick and Ian messaged me and were like, "Hey, get him on again. That was really fun. That was a good That was a good."
Yeah.
I was like, "Of course, yeah." And he said, "Oh, go ahead."
Sometimes I just live my life, and I'm like, "That was a fun Discord call to hang out talk about Godzilla."
Hell yeah!
And like everyone think about things that y'all said. I'm like, they did make a good point about that. Like,
it's literally we always tell people it's like, "Hey, man, like." We watch too much shit. Like we watch too much stuff, and we notice way too many things. Don't even like. It's just a bunch of crazy people, really talking about stuff. But no, that was cool. We're glad you enjoyed that, man. We try to keep these. We want it to be fun, right? But we also don't want people to feel like, they got it's all niceties or like they gotta say like you say what you want to say about the media. It's all about what you got out of it. And speaking of what people thought about the media, we have I lied today. And we have a fifth member to welcome.
What?
Who sadly couldn't be here today, but sent a recording to give their quick take on what Sonic 3 is, so to get us started. So I pray to God this works. Because...
Peak.
I fucked that up, but like...
Yo, what the fuck, dude? You got fucking Emo Sonic?
Yep. That was his one. He's very sad he couldn't come today, and really happy he could just give his one take.
We were gonna have Emo Sonic on.
Wow.
Oh man.
What he said
in front of Aaron. What? Like, why? Why would you
do this in front of company?
Damn. What else? What else you got? Who else? Like, you got Keanu? Like, we're gonna talk about Shadow or? My God! Like,
I tried getting him on.
you think you have a free weekend? You think he'd have like at least a free
Yeah. I really didn't know how that would play. I was trying to. You thought it was peak, and we're here to discuss what we thought about Sonic 3, right? But before we get into that, I would like to ask y'all what y'all know about Sonic 3 before we get into the discussion. Aaron, since you're our guest, what would you like to take it away?
All I knew was I watched the trailer like multiple times. I knew that they're gonna have an older Robotnik. I was stoked on that.
Yeah,
I knew Shadow was in it. I knew Shadow had a gun at some point. I was like, let's go. I was pretty hyped. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't, and it was one of those like it's a science gun. It's like a taser gun, or like so it's not a straight Glock from the
magazine. Yeah.
No, or from the intro of Shadow the Hedgehog. When I was thinking about it, I think most of my knowledge comes from just watching that intro over and over again because it's so good. But had you seen Sonic 1 and 2 or even like the Knuckles show beforehand?
Oh yeah, I saw Sonic 1 and 2. I watched them with my partner. So I went into it like hyped, like extremely excited for the movie. I have not seen the Knuckles show. I'm not like a series guy. I'm watching Beast Games right now. I'm not a series guy.
Okay. That's funny. A friend of mine's like, she's adamantly the opposite. She's rather a series than a movie, unless it's like a Ghibli movie. Which I always told her is weird because they're like really long, and she's like, I don't know. And no, the Knuckles show is good. It's very much like Sonic and Tails are going to be in the first episode, and then like the last, and the rest is kind of a goofy adventure. But it's legitimately entertaining. It's just like you see where the money's at. When it happens.
Kid Cudi's there. Yeah.
Wait, Kid Cudi's in it?
Yeah, Kid Cudi's in it. I forgot about that. Nick pointed that out to me.
Yeah, he's one of the agents. He's one of G. Yeah.
Yeah, because we were staring at him. We were like,
the guy with the fist. Yeah.
He's so familiar, dude, but he's not saying.
Did he go to college?
Yeah.
The guy who invented college. Did he go to college? We'll never know.
It's and honestly, the only thing you had to know for Sonic 3 from Knuckles
Mm.
was who was holding the Master Emerald.
It's Adam
Like,
Paley. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
Yeah.
who was
Yeah.
the main character besides Knuckles and Knuckles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nick, what'd you know about Sonic 3 before going?
You don't know what I know, Chris, about Sonic. No, yeah, same. All the movies, the games, the Keanu. I only know the Keanu. I never saw the trailers. I just saw the announcement of Keanu being Shadow.
Yeah.
In terms of the movie in of itself, I didn't know about what game plot line they're gonna take, because I knew it was kind of obvious from the get go, but I was kind of surprised the extent of it. So no Robotnik, the ship, Maria, all that I didn't know.
Yeah, we'll get into Maria. I think it's crazy that she's in this movie, but we'll get into that. I was not expecting it.
Okay.
I
I read the entirety of Tails Get Strolled to catch up. No, I'm reading that on my own anyway. New chapter last month. No, I mean, in terms of the movie of itself with Sonic 3, that's all I knew.
Okay. Yeah. That's okay. So Ian, what'd you get out of it? I'm so trying to switch gears from the Nosferatu discussion we just did.
Yeah.
Are you guys?
Chris, you gotta line it up.
I know. I'm sorry. We got into the dark and brooding.
It was kind of wild, yeah.
And that's like that movie, as cool as it is very much like about really heavy shit. If you get in, get into the weeds.
Well, can I? Well,
like Sonic.
I will say, Sonic 3. This is maybe the most. This is their attempt at talking about grief and revenge. That's the theme of this movie. So
that's right.
Some real stuff to get into. What I
learn from, yeah.
Yeah. What I knew beforehand was it seemed that it was pulling from Sonic Adventure 3, which was like my first Sonic video game that I ever played on.
You mean Sonic Adventure 2?
Sonic Adventure 2, yeah. Sonic
Adventure
2.
There's a third one. I have to go.
I know, man. Does it?
Technically, Shadow, if you think about it.
Shadow Generations, maybe. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, wasn't that? Oh, dude, I'm gonna have to find that article, but I think there was an article that was like, yeah, Shadow the Hedgehog started as a Sonic Adventure 3 type deal before they just focused on Shadow.
Well, yeah, they have the and you get some of it in the movie, but like Sonic is early 90s, Shadow is late 90s, and they were like, yeah, let's do like the Black Parade version of Sonic as a video game. Let's do Shadow the Hedgehog as a game on its own. Like, but as far as things I knew about the movie going in, it was mostly that. And I mentioned earlier to Chris just briefly that Keanu Reeves was promoting the movie on the Tonight Show, I want to say. And when Stephen Colbert very innocently makes the comment that, and your character, his revenge is fueled by his love for Maria, and you can see like Keanu Reeves like calculating how he's going to respond by saying like, well, they're very good friends. Shadow's not in love with Maria. They have a close platonic relationship.
Yeah.
And I was watching it thinking, oh, Colbert has no idea what he's just stepped in. The deviancy of this fandom to be anyway. That's all I knew going into the movie beforehand.
He knows like Tolkien. Colbert does. He knows everything about Tolkien and like old comedy, even for him. Like type of thing. Yeah. So no, there's no way.
No.
I would have assumed Colbert was like, but I saw a thing that said Shadow loves Latinas. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about? Where's that? I was waiting for it.
It's on the internet. Yeah.
I wanted that line in so bad.
There was a novella.
There was an allusion to it, but yeah.
It was. It really was. Yeah. Which we'll get into, which gets into what I know about Sonic 3. So I've seen all the movies. I've seen, we've talked about them on like the old podcast, I believe, before we started what we got out of this. What we got out of it. And then we watched Knuckles fairly recently, or like I think it was this year.
Yeah.
Which is entertaining. It's more entertaining than I thought it'd be, but it's very much like, it's easy going. You're not gonna like, you get a cool Knuckles moments here and there, but it's very much more about the one actor who I always forget his name.
Adam.
Yeah, because I knew him as like a comedic actor doing bits in smaller stuff. But yeah, so I knew that, and like even I've admitted most of my Sonic knowledge is very much warped by the internet and like memes in general.
Yeah.
Even though I played some of the games, I've talked about sort of the journey before, about how I started as like, I kind of dug some of Sonic stuff as a kid. Then I became like, no, Mario and like a Sonic hater type, just stereotype for like a while. But then I came around like, no, there's good stuff. It's just a very much like, you like what you like, everything. Which no, and then shit's weird with a lot of stuff. And I think everyone should play Sonic Dreams, because to me that's like peak Sonic game. Although like if we're going into real like the mainline stuff, Sonic Mania is up there. The Shadow of the Hedgehog intro, which is better than the game, bar none. Is you just watch it.
Chris, you're like putting everything so lightly.
I know.
Of like just how fucking that intro is like one of the best things ever in games. Like honestly, like no one. Even if you don't play the game, like the intro's like near perfect of an opening for a game, and then fucking, and Shadow the Hedgehog on GameCube, like it's one.
Yeah, and then the rest of oh man, I know there's people out there who love it, but I just really don't like the rest.
They love the memory of it.
Yeah. Oh, recently I tried, and then because I was doing stuff with like a GameCube emulator, I tried Sonic Riders again because I used to like that a lot as a kid. Yeah, that game's hard. I didn't know. I don't remember that at all. Like how hard the game was. I remember unlocking all the characters. I don't know how I did that. Like as a child, that game is really fucking hard. Like the story is and everything. But yeah, it's more or less what I know. So let's get into the climax. What we want of the podcast. What did you all want to talk about for Shadow the Hedgehog? There's a lot of like fan service in this movie.
Yeah.
A lot of just straight up, they do the pose from Sonic Adventure 2. And they go supersonic. Although Shadow does not say Chaos Control in this.
I wanted that so bad.
I did too. That's gonna be the next movie. Like for sure. Because he doesn't do a time stop either, which is what Chaos Control like does as well. They got the teleporting right, like as like right away. Which I will say for this movie, I was kind of surprised how fast this movie starts. Right. You just
that's one thing actually I really wanted to talk about. I was talking about the first thing I talked to my partner about when we watched together. It's interesting to see how the internet is changing movies, in my opinion.
Go ahead.
I watched it. There's a YouTuber group called Colin and Samir, and I'm pretty sure they mentioned a bit where they were like, the thing that's interesting about Instagram is that when you're scrolling or TikTok, you're scrolling, you haven't given the creator your permission of time and attention. So they have to earn that within the first 1 second, or else you're on to the next thing. Whereas the movie is completely different. You paid $10 to sit there and watch the movie. It'd be weird if you paid $10, went to a movie, the first 1 second didn't catch your attention, you just left. Like that's not. So it's interesting because I feel like because of the way the internet's working, the Sonic 3 movie started off like a Mr. Beast video. I was like, what is happening? Everything was cutting so fast. I was like, dude, I paid my $10. I don't need to see like 10 years of movie in like 5 seconds.
It's
slowed down there, but it was just that to me was the most interesting like a creative like decision from a director. I liked it, but it was just also like, oh wow. Like,
it really hits you. No, so oh my god, you've touched upon like two things I can go off on.
Go for it.
I'll go real quick about like the whole thing with there's a term for this shit. I talked about it. I learned about it in college. It's like the amount you invest into a piece of media, right? As you're saying, Instagram it's quote unquote free, but the product's you type deal. They're taking your data, they're using you for advertisers and everything. But for you, that's just it's either, and especially TikTok, it's just swipe, 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 and it has to earn your attention within the first second. Versus, as you mentioned, going to a movie, you pay $10 if not more, usually more, especially here in SoCal. And you now have a monetary investment of some sort. So you want more, you want more time. Like a lot, what people usually want is to be entertained in some manner, like get some sort of stimulation from the piece of media. But a lot of people equate that to time, and that leads to a whole discussion that video games have, which is like video games have to be really long now because I'm paying $60 or $70.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Hour per minute.
Yeah, hour per minute was the metric. No, not hour per minute. Sorry, hour per dollar.
Per dollar.
Yeah. Was the weird metric with AAA games. It still kind of happens versus the quality of the game. So, quick example is I'm playing FF7 Rebirth, and that game is fucking long, and I need time back in my life. And I'm at like 120 hours because I'm trying to do everything. Because it's one of those games where I'm like, I'm never gonna play this again. So I'm gonna see it now, or I'm never gonna see it ever again. Versus one of my favorite games. I'm a fighting game guy, right? A match is 90 seconds in most tournaments. Or sorry, a round is 90 seconds. A match usually ranges between 180 to 270, depending on how long it goes. And then for a lot of people, that's it. You do little bits in here, and maybe you played it for one night. That's a couple hours, and then it'll go, I hate fighting games because I lost, and then play that. Except for me, like, I invest all that time because for me, I love learning stuff. I love that whole process, and I'm getting like an intrinsic value versus for the money thing. Before I go completely off track, but what that leads back into is that books have that problem too for writing. So when I was in college, a lot of the things me, Ian, and Nick talk about all the time is how important a first line is. To not even for a book, not even a paragraph, like the line. What is your first sentence in a book? Because usually that's what people give you for when they crack open a book, they'll read the first thing, and if they're not like, if it's not interesting or it doesn't sound like worth your time, the rest of the book is thrown away. They don't bother with it, they don't do it. And it's an important lesson to learn really young, or like when you start out writing, because a lot of times you want to go, no, I'm going to build up to something. I'm going to build up to what the real cool shit that's in my head. Whereas you got to go back and go, I got to make this first page. It's got to be the best thing in the book. Because people are going to be into it. So a lot of media kind of reflects that and all that. But for movies are getting weird. Just going to the second thing I want to talk about. Sonic movies are very much influenced by the internet from the get-go. Which is the model of Sonic. It's actually kind of... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like the very first trailer of the first movie dictated how the designs of Sonic were going to go forward. That they brought Tyrese Hesse, who was a known fucking shit poster for Sonic comics, on to fix Sonic. And he's an amazing artist. And like, it was literally dictated by internet reaction. So internet culture, by internet reaction, saved Sonic's design moving and made him a lead designer for the trilogy. Like, you're absolutely right, Chris. That's such a it's such a given.
Yeah, and so I'm kind of now that Aaron's like pointed out, I'm trying to think like, because there's obviously in this third one there's fans making this like that are part of the making process or the writing process and all that. And they're definitely looking at the games. So it's not out of the question that they'll look at internet culture for this stuff. Right.
Yeah, now that you're writing brain, my brain got marketing brain really bad. And for me, what I thought was also interesting, speaking of going straight into the internet culture behind the movie, I was so glad to see how well they understood their audience for this movie. Like, there's lots of points in which they realize there's a new generation of kids that are just learning about Sonic for the first time. Let's cater to them.
Yeah.
But like the dudes that go and buy Sonic 3, tell their friends they have to go. Like, it's gonna be like the millennial, older Gen Z crowd that wants to have that internet meme satisfied while also delivering a good movie. Like, there's so many moments of like Shadow watching novellas and stuff like that that are just like they put that in there because of, you know what I mean, of such and so, putting live and learn in the song. Like, so the thing is that when it came on, like, I saw the Instagram reels, people just like popping off, like they put live and learn on. But that point of the movie, I wasn't even like excited because I expected it, because I was like, this movie understands us so well. I was like, I knew it, and I was like, it wasn't like, let's go, I can't believe they did it. It was like a yes. It was like, you know, it's like watching a kid that you knew was going to be successful one day, and then they're there, and you're like, I knew it from day one. I'm not even because I'm just so like in the first 10 minutes, like this movie's going to deliver.
Yeah.
So
dang.
So yes, I think they understood their audience so well, and it's just like yes, we need more media like that.
No, absolutely. I am sorry. I'll make this real quick. I am sorry to say that my cynical brain wasn't expecting it, so I did get a little. It's not very much like, well, they haven't done it in the last 2 movies, so who knows? It'll be fine. But then it came on and went, all right. That was the right choice.
It worked,
and it's a good version. It's very short though. I think I looked it up after. It's like only that clip. It's only as long as they needed it to be.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, Nick. You were about to say something.
No, I mean, I was gonna. I think it's such a cool sort of. It's an interesting thing to see like both perspectives going into the film and like where the expectations are.
Yeah.
At some point, because my favorite thing. Well, I think like this year, like the only writers' room I was a part of for DreamWorks was like a training thing. And they were talking about like for animation and everything, and they talked. One of them was talking about how for writing for How to Train Your Dragon trilogy and later on for like the other features that are coming out now, they talked about this philosophy not like don't bury the lead, more like whatever your best idea is, do it now and then you'll think of something better later.
Yeah.
Right. So this film seems like there's so many set pieces and things we have to set, because there's a lot of set pieces in this film. And it seems like it is doing the thing of like it's trying to one up itself, both in reference and in like physical fights and like physical sequence. And to the point where my expectation was like they have to go Super Saiyan. They have to go. There's no other way. Like they have to both fight Vegeta and Goku on the moon. Like I legit do when they did Chaos Control, the moment they went yellow, I swear I thought I was gonna hear like Hoobastank. I thought I was gonna hear like Creed. And then like the text scroll was gonna come, and then the big white, and then like Love to You, like early YouTube, like everything. I was expecting the whole AMV structure.
Yeah, that.
You're right. It's like it's the marketing of that generation that just expects that to happen.
And to tie it back to some of the thoughts that have been shared, and Aaron, I think you hit so many great points about the millennial Gen X-ness of this product, how they're really plugged into the audience. Like this series has been 90s as hell. Like I think a lot of the backbone stuff is like very much casting Jim Carrey to do it. Like casting one of the biggest stars of the 1990s to be your ostensible face of the thing. Yeah. When you're because there was no guarantee that Ben Schwartz being the lead as Sonic was going to happen until we had the movie, until it was done. So I think that definitely like coming in with Jim Carrey, coming in with that kind of sensibility was definitely at the front of their minds. And it definitely, another thing I wanted to mention about like the kind of social media tastes of the audience, like the movie, the word I used was like felt abrupt. The movie kind of does what it needs to do per scene, and then kind of will just say, yeah, and we got to do another scene now. We have a different scene in a new place. We've got to do this now. Yeah, you know?
It's like the opposite of Nosferatu. Like, it is...
Yeah.
We next thing. Like, next thing.
Next thing. Yeah, Nosferatu kind of, like, all flows into each other in, like, beautiful ways. But no, you're right. Especially in that beginning. It's weird, because it really... the beginning very much is like, all right, human, let's get the humans in. James Marsden's doing his thing. Oh my god, I always forget her name because she's really good in this too. Actually, I had
her name is Tika Sumpter as Maddie Wachowski.
There you
go.
Yeah. I should mention that because like the actual human roles in here are like as short as they are, especially for this movie, because they have a much bigger presence in the last two, but it's been getting less and less.
Yeah.
They're performing their roles really well, like, and they're well thought out of for characters. For instance, I'm trying to find his name too. The lackey for
Agent Stone, who is played by I've got it right here.
Lee Majdo. By Lee.
Mm-hmm.
He
that's cool.
Yeah, but like it not only is he playing his bit great and the comedy bit works, but like the reason it works is because the character is written both as like he kind of sees beyond, like it's weird. He's fully into the premise of the entire movie. Like it's okay talking hedgehogs and all that because it's Buddy's Eggman. So there's no like questioning what the world is. It's this weird. He's like a weird anchor, like for people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To be like, no, we're in this. This is the world now. For them. Yeah. And he also has this just complete adoration for Eggman, and to the point where that allows them to put up with the zany antics of Jim Carrey. It's why like they work as a duo.
Yes.
Which that must have been a real daunting task, like for the first one. I never brought up with the first movie, but that must have been a real scary task to work alongside him in like comedic scenes and like in order to try to keep up pace,
I think I will say as a great compliment. I agree. He stands out. He's great. Mm-hmm. The fact that he can act against Jim Carrey in not just 3 movies, but Jim Carrey double time in this movie, and he is such a strong character. And we come away. I agree. He's like he's a grounding. He's an ethos to the movie that can be very silly. It's just like abstract and cartoony and silly. He's a great grounder for the audience, I think, to come back and and speaking of fan service, they do find an excuse to just take his shirt away for like a long stretch in the middle of the movie. There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so as I was kind of mentioning, like the pacing is so fast, we're trying to get away from like the human aspects of the stories, and we're getting closer to it's just going to be the CGI Morbius characters for the movie, which is a crazy idea. Like the more and we're getting to, I'm gonna put a pin in that feeling specifically, just like the idea of what I'm looking at on screen, because I had a moment in the theater that Nick will point out that you will interpret as you will. But we were going through it's real quick. We're just let's introduce Shadow as fast as we can. Get the whole power dynamic, the villain humbling the main character pretty succinctly at the beginning, which he does. Teleports are really cool. Him breaking out. I like the fact that they brought Gunn into this. So I was telling Nick this again. This is just because I watch too many movies. But there's a thing with movies nowadays, especially in the past like 10 years, or 10 or 20 years now.
Yeah.
Where they don't make fun of cops or military.
Yes.
And they always have to come out on like as competent good guys. And a lot of that has to be because of like their military. So I'm not going to get into the whole thing. You can look it up online. The U.S. military funds a lot of movies. You can go find the list. You can go find the list.
Yeah.
So
I'm loving Nick's reaction more.
I know that face.
Because he's literally he's hiding the vein in his forehead as he says this. Because this is such a talking point.
We only have so much time, Nick.
It's a rabbit hole. Yeah, we can. We just have to. Yeah. This is the only time we're gonna say 2 sentences on it. But
yeah. All I'll say is there's a list you can look up online. You'll be astonished when movies are weirdly funded by the military.
Yeah. So G represents.
No. So I was gonna say is gun. They get around that because it's now a fictional military thing. It has no and so it does like a couple cool things. One, it's fan service guns in the universe now. It exists. It's part of a thing. Everything that comes out of that from the comics, the games, and all that we can now do, which is we'll get into that teaser at the end.
Yeah.
And then 2, it allows you to, in this children's movie, make fun of them or use them as joking points. Because now there's like slapstick moments with them. In fact, I don't know if it's supposed to be funny, but the moment in the Chow Garden where just one of this old man walks in and sits down, and he's just talking this like just straight to them, and it's like, this is Chow Garden. I'm cool with this. Was so funny to me. I don't know what it was. It's and then he dies. This character you don't. Right, he's not the other military guy because he's part of Gun, and it's a new character.
He's the specifically the one from the Shadow game.
Yeah. Yes.
He dresses like him, has the hair. Yeah.
And he shows up for one scene to give exposition to Shadow, and then he is murdered in an explosion. And then he just kind of goes, "Here's a photo," and then dies.
Yep.
And I was like, "Well, that character was just really written for that." That is not to ignore or put down that I would love if there's a real life Chow Garden.
I would go.
I would be there.
I would go.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Oh, is there really? Is there one? No. See, I'm excited. No. I want.
Oh wait, no, there's not. It was like a Chow Cafe in Japan.
All right, guys, let's build one. Let's do it.
It reminds me of the stories I've heard about the Kirby Cafe in Japan. And that's on my bucket list. Even if I know tickets are hard to get, sometimes you have to go by yourself. But part of me wants to go by myself because they give you a plushie to eat with. So they'll put a Waddle Dee or a giant King DDD on the other side, so you're not alone at the Kirby Cafe, and you get to eat.
That's right. That's right. Chris's ideal situation is he walks in, we stand outside, he eats by himself,
and I ate with the Waddle Dee, preferably bandana Waddle Dee is my favorite Waddle Dee. No, so that was a very funny scene to me. But then you get the cool motorcycle thing, and your second plot line starts right with all the something's wrong with Robotnik.
Yeah.
And you get a great just moment of him watching the fucking novella. Which I think those are all novella actors. It's like something Rodriguez, right?
Cristo Fernandez, is one of the actors who was on Ted Lasso, and he plays the twins that love the same woman. He also
voices a Transformer.
Oh,
does he really?
Cybertron and Beast Wars, the Michael Bay ones.
Oh, nice. I didn't.
The Saw dude. I keep forgetting his name. Is the one with the saw, but he voices him too.
Oh, okay. This movie had a few actors that did surprise me. The cameo from Cristo was good. There was another cameo I'm trying to remember that kind of appeared. Oh, it was Kristen Ritter being one of the gun agents. Was Jessica Jones?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny. I don't know why it was so funny to me. Like, it's so jarring. Just seeing him just like as a goober, like.
What was she? Has she been in anything since Jessica Jones? Am I just missing? Because I liked her a lot as Jessica Jones.
She was good. She was really good.
Yeah.
She was also Jesse Pinkman's girlfriend in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, but I was waiting for her. I knew her as that.
Yeah.
She gets that crazy death scene in that.
That's still one of the craziest ones.
Yeah.
Oh, so I was gonna ask. Well, let's talk about characters then. How do we feel about Jim Carrey's performance here, especially because 90% of his scenes he's acting with himself.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Legendary.
Yeah.
What's that?
It is absolute cinema. He fucking crushes it every time.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you watch and you're like, this shouldn't work. Because each time he has to do this, there's no one there, unless they got like a stand-in that's CG'd over, or like that they green screen out.
Yeah.
But it's working, and it's kind of crazy that it works. Like
when I'm watching a split screen performance, you know, like a classic Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
One thing I'm always, at least for me, I'm watching. I'm looking for the split. I'm looking for, you know, but
like Nutty Professor.
Yes, exactly. But Jim Carrey is interacting physically with himself, and I pay the movie this. I think it's pretty impressive how many of the shots.
Yeah.
There's two faces entirely in the screen, and you can see them body to body interacting. Like that's hard to do, even with body doubles. Like that's great acting that they managed to get to capture. Yeah.
And back to Aaron's point about marketing to the millennial audience.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey does an early internet tradition in which he glomps a cosplayer. Glomps Santa Claus into the tree.
That's right. I forgot.
I don't want to bring that back. I don't want to bring back glopping. We can do without that.
We really should. If he had pulled out the Yowie paddle, I feel like I would just leave the theater. I would just leave the theater if he had the Yowie paddle.
If there was even one moment where a character like Stone, a character like Adam Paley was just like drawing two of the characters with their eyes half closed, and then we don't come back to whatever the hell that is, that would have also been for what my mind goes to for Sonic fandom. Like, there's a lot in that sphere, or Shrek, or
so actually gets into like what I think is like one of the like more prevalent themes of the movie, which you show. So you show how like lonely your three main characters are in this movie. Well, you've already seen how lonely Sonic was in the first one before he meets his found family with James Marsden, and that's what the first one was about. And then you get Shadow's sequence with Maria that I think is actually really well done.
Yeah,
it's only one of those things of like I'm watching Shadow having emotions on screen. But the whole thing with Maria, I think, is actually pretty well shot. It feels you get to see someone born as like or come into this world as well like lonely, kind of like Sonic. Although Shadow knows nothing beforehand, he doesn't know love like beforehand until he meets Maria. And then developing a relationship with another human in this world who shows them to enjoy life, to enjoy your time on here, you know, before it's taken away through that misunderstanding.
Right.
And then 50 years pass by and, you know, she's gone. She was gone in the explosion and all that. And it's a really good way to establish, and it's really quick too, how they do it. To establish just, I'd be angry. I'd be angry too. If that would be, I would have like a chip on my shoulder, and you get to see someone who is still, who's looks very similar to you. Experiencing the love you're not getting anymore. Because you're not getting it from whatever Shadow thinks is with Dr. Robotnik as the old man Robotnik, because that's like his only anchor to this world now, besides like the existence of Gunn. And seeing that kind of like develop, and as you get into more and more things, it's very anime. It's very much like his Sasuke or like other shonen rivals I'm drawing a blank on because I've been doing podcasting for like 3 hours now. But it's
all of them, all the Sasukes,
all the Sasukes, but
Shigeru.
But you also get it with Dr. Robotnik, who's been albeit he's had his assistant who he doesn't recognize as like
a peer or
equal
to
his person or a peer and equal. but his grandfather. So he's looking for also familial love, and then doesn't get it. Although you
Yeah.
get that nice moment where he's like, I always enjoyed your lattes and all that.
Yeah.
Which do we believe he's dead because he came back alive in this one? Is he gonna show up? I don't know. Those checks are really big.
I remember I was gonna say Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently he retired after this. I don't know if that's like a thing I just saw on the internet or.
Oh shit! I didn't see it. Yeah.
Yeah, Jim's been trying to retire for a while. I think
he was retired before this.
Yeah, he may not come back. The next few, if look, they're gonna do more Sonics without Jim. I don't think they'll do Robotnik. Yeah. Probably they may. But the other thing is, Shadow can teleport, so Robotnik might be alive. And I know Shadow's sure as hell coming back eventually. Like they're not.
Oh yeah, it's the after credits stinger.
Yeah,
the most obvious thing in the world. Like the middle one was way more interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see. I mean, if he goes out like this, if this is where Robotnik's story ends, it's a pretty good spot.
Yeah, exactly. I just. Go ahead. I was gonna say I looked it up real quick. Yeah, so Jim Carrey had retired before Sonic 3, but I guess he clarified his comments saying that he more wants to power rest between projects, as in he no longer wants to act like as a career. It's like unless you give me a really good role, I'm not gonna take the time.
Yeah.
Something like Robotnik, hopefully, is one of those roles he's referring to. Something like it was with the Grinch and things of that sort.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so hopefully Sonic 4 with back in it. Is all I'm trying to say. It looks like it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised how much I like him as Dr. Robotnik. I didn't think that'd be a thing when the first movie came out.
Yeah.
But he's doing it.
I will say I think he did reach out. He did make a character. It really isn't just Jim Carrey doing wacky Jim Carrey. He's making choices. And what do we think about? I do really like the conclusion that he takes for his two characters. Like, Ivo Robotnik gets a redemption arc, a beautiful, like you say, I like your goat milk lattes, and then Gerald Robotnik gets a comedy death that's so perfect tonally. So I love. Very good. Very good.
Funny. Just a bug zapper.
Yeah.
to the point where I was like, wow, that is not how I thought he would go out. That was really funny. Like I was really shocked by it. I like the distinct they do it as a joke, but I like the distinction between villains who want to conquer the earth versus who want to destroy the earth.
Yes.
In that if you want to conquer something, it's because it's a fucked up type of love, but it's you love it in some manner. You're obsessed with it. So he wants the earth to exist, and like versus his grandfather wanting to destroy it. So that's a good fissure to put. It's quick and easy to understand, right? Like especially in the few minutes you have left in that movie when it happens.
Yeah.
But that so other than that, I was just gonna ask, like, so what were some of y'all's favorite scenes?
Sure.
You want to talk about some of the what were the fan service bits y'all noticed? What was like
honestly, when it happened in the moment, I was like, oh, this is a kid's movie. But then when I saw it, I was like, this is so awesome. The laser dancing scene? Ooh, man. I love the laser dancing scene.
Yeah, it was really
it was the goofiest scene, but with the music and it was just so funny. It was just like, this is hilarious. Yeah.
I'm with you. I think what works with that scene is how long it goes on. Because if it was quick and short, I would have been just like, I would have been with you. Hey, that was a quick kids joke, isn't it funny? These two old men dancing. But no, it goes on and they commit so hard to it that it comes back around. I'm like, no, this is good. This is good. This is like this is making sure this is getting the best out of Jim Carrey, which is physical comedy and like being able to do all that. Nick, I think that was the scene you went to go use the bathroom for because I was telling you about it.
I did, yeah. I missed it.
The whole laser light show. Plus, it's a good bit him pushing his grandfather just straight into the laser and how quick it is.
Yep.
I'll say one of my favorite jokes is when they're exploring the old gun base, and it's a very like movie joke, but it's just them all being scared, and they do the same shot 3 times. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's the cheesy horror shot straight into a screaming mouth. real quick, but it looks real funny with like Tails and Knuckles, especially.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that got me. I know that's like a cheap, but the fact that they commit to the whole shot is like, I think what makes it work.
Yeah. Another one
Ian,
of my
go ahead.
very selfish favorite scenes or biased is when they're circling the helicopter and there's a bunch of explosions, and I just was more surprised that I could say it without any copyright issues, but they were like, down there is either Hello Kitty or Godzilla. I'm gonna find
That was a pretty good line. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, that's surprising. Well, I guess if they're just naming it, it's fine. But
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I ain't no lawyer, so.
Definitely.
For me, I definitely agree, Chris. I thought that the triple shot of people screaming at Shadow was very funny. A like fan moment that I really loved was there's a handful of moments in this movie where I had the same exact reaction, which was, is Sonic gonna say that? And then a beat later, like not even a beat later.
Yeah.
That is what Sonic the Hedgehog would say in this situation. That checks out. There's a moment right before they jump out, and he does like a bad inline airline food, and I was like, yeah, that's what Sonic would say. He'd say some cute shit and then jump out of airplane. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Plus, it helps with bench.
Again,
go ahead.
And then again with the do you have a catchphrase? Yeah, I gotta go fat. Like solid. Okay. Yeah,
we did it.
That's what it.
Yeah, and we also get the little spinning sign at the beginning with the race.
Yeah.
That's good shit.
Go ahead. Sorry. Them tapping their feet in the way that they really do if you are bad at the level. So good.
Oh yeah.
So good. Yeah.
I was gonna say it helps with Ben Schwartz being as Sonic too, because of his like he has great comedic timing. He is great at like voice acting. Albeit it's always his voice, but I mean that's what he's casted for and all that. Plus he's just funny dude. Nick, I was gonna ask what were some of your favorite scenes, favorite jokes, your fan servicey bits? Because I want to talk about a moment I had in this movie. But I want to make sure.
Okay, well, the giant laser, gonna piss on the moon. I feel like the internet has clearly rotted my brain for the entire sequence.
And he does the fucking broadcast to the world too.
He did everything. Broadcast, but it's not his full like comedic logo in his nose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they do it all
really close.
Straight through the atmosphere, hits the moon.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy we got that like at all. Like that was a big surprise for me with like how much from Sonic 2 and like Shadow the Hedgehog this did take from. Like it's kind of cool.
I mean, it was cool, Shadow with a gun,
Yeah.
Doing Kira slides.
To get the pose.
That's a Kira slide. That was so sick.
Yeah, that was pretty dope. And that was a cool one too, just right off the tower into like that was rad.
That was actually cool. Yeah.
That was really cool. My only two complaints with that, like we mentioned before, because it has to be like it can't be a real gun, so they do like it's like a weird taser or like a science gun. That's like but
your
and then also
is that,
what's up?
Your complaint is that he doesn't.
It's
like
not Glock, dude. It's not a 9mm.
Why does he pull out his six?
Kids,
why doesn't he get that shot of him looking like he's gonna murder Sonic in the Shadow of the Hedgehog?
No. I pointed that out. There is a shot where
it's the same angle.
Same angle from the ending of the intro to the game where Sonic falls to his face in front of Shadow, who's holding the gun, to ambiguously imply if he is or is not shooting Sonic in the head.
Gonna get him.
It is so genius. Cinema.
I was gonna ask after. Back to do y'all prefer the motorcycle in this movie, which is I actually don't know what it is. I keep calling them Suzukis. They're not all Suzukis, but the motorcycle he has in this movie versus the Harley, the tricked out Harley he has in the game. Because I have a soft spot for the tricked out Harley. I grew up around a lot of biker uncles, who were Harley fans. So it was very blasphemous to not
sure.
Right, Harley. How'd you all feel? about his motorcycle?
I'm 50-50 because I do think the Harley was the more iconic, true to the series Shadow.
Yeah.
That being said, though, Shadow in this, I feel like old Shadow was like internet edgy, but also they painted him as like cool like biker dude. Whereas this one, I think they committed more to the internet edgy, and I think the motorcycle change matches that a little bit more his character in the movie than his true original character. Does that make sense?
No, it does. I think I actually agree with you. Yeah, I think it does match his character more. Plus, like, not every kid's gonna know what a Harley is, I guess. But but I would also argue that for his whatever. But I agree with you. I think it matches his character like a lot more in this movie.
Yeah,
which
but I
could bring
see disappointment. I agree. I think they couldn't. I think neither one is wrong. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. So which leads into let's talk about Shadow, the other star movie. How are we all feeling about this portrayal? How are we feeling about his arc in this?
Well, this is
this
is a hot take. So I love Shadow. 10 out of 10.
Okay.
I love it. But if I could give my nitpicky hot takes,
Yeah.
I don't know if I like Keanu as his voice.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I love Keanu. Keanu is amazing. He did not do a bad job. He crushed it. But when I think of Shadow, I wanted more like, you're a fake hedge. I wanted more like angst, like I'm better, like like bully classroom vibe. Keanu's too calm and collected. He's too he's too classy. I wanted this like 13-year-old edgy kid yelling at Sonic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You wanted Ted. You want it from Bill and Ted. You want Ted.
Like that.
But
I am. We have to
go.
I want something like. But that's it's. I'm not a director. I don't know.
I get that. It makes sense. No,
I get what you're saying because it is a different Shadow, where Shadow has a lot of jokes where it's simply because he doesn't know how the world works or what things are in the world. So it's not so much like haha he's dumb. It's more like wow he actually doesn't know things and he's still trying to be cool and edgy. But that's softened by the fact of like I don't know how a Circle K works. I don't know what a Circle K is, or I don't know what a supermarket is. Or things like that. I get what you're saying with that. Ian, it sounded like you wanted to say something about Shadow.
Oh, I mean, I just wanted to ask you guys about the Maria storyline. I
enjoyed it.
I liked it, and I agree. I was surprised. I think as much as the moon blowing up, I was surprised that they decided to go with Maria as a direct plot for the character.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, what do we think of that kind of build up for Shadow having pathos, for having a connection to humanity that's basically his motivation for this whole movie, is losing his one kind person in his life, essentially. Did it work for you guys?
Yeah, I thought so because, like I said, I think it parallels Sonic's thing, but Sonic has a happier it's a happy quote unquote ending. Where Sonic is at that moment is a lot happier than what Shadow ends up with at that moment too. And it's also that thing of, but because he grew up so tough, he's like better than Sonic at the beginning, and Sonic has to use like the emeralds in order to catch up and all that.
Right.
I liked it. I think it matches, and I think they do it really well for the short amount of time. They have to do a lot of things in this movie.
Yes.
And I think it worked. In fact, I liked it more than the game, because in the game it's like, you get that level where you escort her in Shadow the Hedgehog, but that's like pretty much it. All you know is she's the one nice person to him.
Yeah.
You don't get the moments, right? Which is what a movie gets to do. Is you get to have like a nice vignette or like a nice moment with showing that relationship build. Nick, what do you think? Shadows.
Well, I kind of agree with Aaron in regards to like his performance.
Yeah, okay.
And
he doesn't actually say much in this movie either. Yeah, it's kind of
he
weird.
doesn't. I do agree that I feel like there should have been more energy. Maybe more energy. I mean, that's it. Maybe it's just that. Maybe it's like he's so sincere. It's weird. Like maybe that was my problem. Like he seems so sincere.
Exactly.
Because like you said, there should be at least an angle of the humor being like he's trying too hard.
Right.
Okay.
But so I don't know. I'm like, it's and kind of like what you shared and what you expressed to me bravely, Chris, about your feelings of Keanu Reeves' voice.
Yeah, okay, I'll just tell the story, dude. All right, so,
What'd you get out of this, Chris? What'd you get out of Keanu?
Yeah, what'd you get?
All right, so you know what? I can kind of do in this chair because I was reclined too. It's gonna sound like I'm gonna go quiet during little bits of stories. Right. I swear to God,
I'm in a position too. All right.
So we're watching the movie. We're at the part they've gone both Super Saiyan. I don't know quite what to call it anymore because it's not Chaos Control because they didn't do the time stop and they didn't ask, and it's Super Sonic. I'm just gonna call it Super Saiyan for now. They go Super Saiyan. They have the cool fight. It's actually like pretty cool. That parry legit got me because I'm a fighting game guy, and they're on like the Tekken 7 stage for Kazuya Mishima, and he does that parry. I almost heard the sound for a third strike, and I went, "Whoa, that's fucking cool!" And then he does like a fucking Kazuya combo into a kick that's really clean, punch, kick, and it launches him. And I went, "Oh, dude, that's all I need. Like that's what I need for this thing anymore." I was super into it, and then they do the rest of the fight, and then Shadow has a monologue, and I'm kind of like leaning back into the reclined chair. And this is what I look like when I watch movies in public, too, because I'm just sitting in the AMC. So I look like a vampire when I'm watching. And then there's this moment that my brain, like, breaks. Because it's Keanu's voice. And I have this moment. I'm like, it's just a question of, hey, what are you looking at right now? What are you watching? Like, I have this weird out-of-body moment.
Yeah.
Where... I'm like, I'm gonna hit 30 soon, and Sonic's been a natural presence in my life in some way, shape, or form, for better and for worse, for like 30 years. And it's Shadow's face and it's only his face for that shot on this huge ass screen, and Keanu's voice is coming out of him. And right as I have that thought, out comes the line, "Where are your friends and why are you alone?" And I know that's part of the monologue, but but I felt something break in like my brain, like he was talking to me, and I just started laughing like really hard. And then Nick looks at me like, "Are you okay, dude?" And I'm like, "I don't know why. I don't know why Shadow asking me if I have friends or where are my friends." And why am I alone is getting to me right now.
Where are they, Chris?
And it's dude, I don't know what it was. It was one of the weirdest moments I've had in a movie in a long time.
To be fair, I was losing it, but I wasn't like taking as much spiritual damage as Chris. I was more like
I got very existential with it.
I was just more confused, and I literally turned to Chris and said, "What is this movie?
What is that?
What are movies anymore?"
Yeah, that was the real question. What are movies? Because I'm watching Keanu. Yeah,
like you said, internet culture dictating.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, internet culture dictating everything about this film. Internet culture, in of itself, is supposed to be against film industry because the biggest moneymaker growing up was the film industry and music industry, and we're in a time now where the internet is now dictating. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's been flipped.
Is everything flip flop? We're now like reaching this cycle, and I'm with Chris where I just sit there. I'm like, what are films anymore? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, what are movies? Yeah, you guys are right. I don't think I would have had that moment if it wasn't for what Shadow is in my mind, from the internet or from video games. Because that one line of "Where are your friends?" really got me.
Would it be like if Shadow was like, "There's a house burning down somewhere"? Or...
Yeah, it's raining somewhere. There's always a house burning down somewhere. Yeah, I don't know what it was.
This is Silent Hill. Is Shadow? Is Keanu? Is Shadow?
The other. I think this story's funny because I feel like I'm so crazy. Like when,
that moment. Like fucking Denji and Chainsaw Man, where he just cries for no reason.
Because a lot. Oh, dude, dude. Yeah, because a lot of things have to. I mean, that's what media is, right? Like a lot of things line up in your life, and then you see something on screen, and you attach that to something to what's going on, and it just so happened for me that I was going through throes of existential turmoil. Like, well, I'm over dramatizing, but I'm gonna be 30 soon, and that makes a lot of thoughts come to your head. And 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 knowing what shadow is to my mind and think, oh my god, dude, I don't know what it was. I had to think about that moment a lot. What's that? Oh, is that what I got out of it? That's
what you got out of this movie.
It was the most emotional I'd gotten
turning 30
in a movie in a while.
Oh, it was a crisis of your quarter life? Is that it?
Yeah, that's what we're getting at. It's a quarter.
Damn, you're crushing it.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna be you ain't getting rid of me for a while. I'm gonna be here.
Damn, a quarter. Man, you're crushing it at 30. Damn.
I'm gonna be 150. Calling it right now. That's what
good.
Would you be down for like the test tube? Like, they put your head in a jar, like Futurama or like Norgenome?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I'd be in. I want to see cool things.
Yeah, my back hurts, dude.
Dude, oh my god! Me and my friends talk about. Well, I woke up the wrong way. My knee hurts. That's just gonna be my day now, or like gonna. Or I have like I fucked up my shoulders at that one job, so now I just wake up. It's a little. It's enough that it bugs you.
Yep.
And that's what it is. Like.
Right.
No, it's.
That's morbid, but that'd be cool. I got play WoW in a test tube. Fuck it, why not?
Oh, I know, I do. Like you get to. They're getting to the point where like you can play with electrical synapses. So like.
Yeah, what's the difference now? Yeah.
If I can play Street Fighter, I'm gonna assume 8 by the time I'm 150. No. No, it's gonna. Yeah, man. I guess that's what that moment was. I don't. It's just a real.
You got from Shadow. It was Sonic 3.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it was. It was just.
That's funny.
You become aware of yourself at just a moment. Keanu Reeves asks you in
why you don't have
Shadow,
friends?
where are your friends? And I don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So if I have to give my real thoughts, I like. What's happening on screen for Shadow is really I think I agree with you guys. I wish Keanu kind of leaned more into it. I wish he was given a little bit more to do, but that's also like that's not a new thing for that's not a new problem that Keanu's had. There's been roles where he's very much like, that's the joke about him. He only has the one tone, the one voice, and it works or it doesn't. And it all depends on like whether the character was written for him. It works super well as like John Wick, with all that. And then there's movies like, it works in Bill and Ted. I'm a huge fan of the Bill and Ted trilogy.
Yes.
Growing up as a kid, and then when it ended, like a year or two back, and he's like more energetic now, but he plays a very California surfer guy. He's Poochie almost from The Simpsons,
right? Yeah.
And like. And then there's movies like Point Break, or where he's supposed to be an undercover FBI agent, and there's emotional betrayal in that movie, and you get the meme voice of him trying to sound sad and shocked at the same time of "I am FBI." Yeah, and it's not delivered well.
Not coming through.
Yeah. So they wanted him. It feels like for that monotone. It feels like they asked him to do John Wick. Like for this, but like just without like murder intent, like or like
yeah.
And I'm kind of with Nick. I think I wish there was more jokes about it, or they had written more little things for him to do. Again, the humor from the game seems to be just the fact he doesn't know much about the world because he's a test tube like creation from like a meteor. So like. No, I get that. But the power sequence, or like the moment at the beginning where he's showing how much better he is in Sonic, I think that works. I think the stuff with Maria really works, and he can be almost devoid of emotion because he doesn't know what emotions are, until, like living with Maria and living life.
Yeah,
and but it's
when
kind
he
of weird.
hits, when they hit, like you feel it with Shadow when he realizes, oh shit, this is what it is to love. Yeah,
this is what it is to have friends.
Yeah.
I like that fight sequence though. I like the turn. I like we get the Sonic Adventure 2 pose. I'm into that.
Yeah.
He turns into Super Shadow. No, I dug it. Yeah, it's his actual voice acting. Yeah, I think it's okay. This movie, it's serviceable. I'm hoping in the next one, they give him more stuff. He's gonna end up like Knuckles, right? Where you get to play up to his what would make them funny about that.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at an article right now. I don't know if this is not usual for us, but I will say that the writer-director of Sonic 3 has said that both Idris Elba and Keanu Reeves are expressed interest in spinning off their characters and continuing the franchise as well. So they're probably going to do that. They're probably going to,
They taught, and I remember hearing about that before the movie came out. I mean, Shadow's whole thing can just be like, what the episode today is, we take Shadow to a donut shop, or like we take him to bowling, or we take do human things.
Hatchet throwing. Take him to hatchet throwing. Yeah.
He's got to fall, like, they should show him a movie, and he's got to fall in love with, like, the most edgiest character we can think of. Like, or, like, what's an edgy... He'll love, like, Fight Club. Or, like, like, The Crow. Or, is that... Oh, Edward, it should be The Crow, dude.
It should be, yeah.
It should be The Crow, though. Yeah.
I should totally fall in love with The Crow. Okay, that would be funny. All right, I'm looking at the time, just for podcast length. So let's just get into what we get out of it, y'all. What we?
Sure.
Well, one.
Actually, I'm sorry to do this when you're about to get
go for it.
One last question I have for y'all.
You're our guest.
Yeah. What was the pain of Shadow catching Knuckles' punch and turning his hand 90 degrees? Is that like?
I don't know.
It's always that was the one thing that took me out of the movie. I was like, what is the pain in that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it because it's a kids movie and they're like, oh, we can't show him like twisting his arm like 360 or something? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because it should have been the other way, right?
Anatomy, not let him turn.
Yeah, because you're right. The problem is he turns it towards the screen, and that just means you do that.
He's just. But
it should have been like if he had done that, like if he had done an arm twist. Yeah, if he's just strong.
He's just so cool and strong.
That was my only interpretation was Knuckles is really trying to keep this and just. But what it should have instead of been pain, it should have been like Knuckles takes a knee, and that would have been like you could have shown that without fully twisting his arm. Yeah, it would have been a test of might. But I'm with you. Yeah, no. Someone made a meme about that.
Before. Maybe because I feel like I'm missing something still. Like, was that the joke? Was that the joke that he just turned it and it's just such a juxtaposition?
He's just so damn strong. He's the beast of all of them at that scene, at least. Yeah.
I'm with you. I don't because I didn't laugh. I thought it was weird. I had forgotten that was actually in the movie because, like I said, there was a meme of it beforehand, and someone like in order to make it work, they did put like a ton of bone cracking noises for it, and then just like a sheep's yell or something like after, and that was the joke. Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you. I think it's I had forgotten about that, but yeah, no, it's weird. Yeah, it's a weird moment.
That's a good point. Yeah.
What do we get out of it? Keep going. I'm sorry.
No, that's all good. No, you just say that's
good, Chris.
Listen, I'm not gonna get any more deeper than the existential moment.
Then I'm turning 30.
But I'm 33. Yeah.
Oh man. Age, ravages of time. Anyway, Nick, what'd you get out of the movie?
Besides your reaction, probably no. I'm just kidding. Again, like you know what? Now we're at this point. I can bring up the post-credit thing. So post-credit thing, I was kind of surprised it wasn't silver.
Oh no, they're not. Really? Yeah, that's too. The world ain't ready for that, dude. They have to figure out a way to make silver cool.
Yeah,
and he's not.
I'm not anti-silver, but yeah, I think there's not enough. Like, I think Amy was the right because people. I don't know. Maybe this is a hot take, but I feel like more people like to Amy than they would Silver.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
It's so
100%.
really niche. Like, you have to really be a Sonic fan to be like, hell yeah, I want to see Silver.
Yeah. I know. Chris was mad it wasn't Rouge the Bat, so
Yeah, I
I
was
think
real
maybe
mad.
that's my takeaway.
You just give it time, guys.
Dude.
You give it time.
I
All of
wasn't
her
like,
fan count on Instagram, dude. That's how much I love Rouge the Bat, dude.
That's right.
Yeah.
but
Uh,
I wanted a whole new generation of
be awakened like I did, so I can.
yeah, I wanted a whole new awakening. No, I wanted Rouge, dude. I don't. No, I wanted Rouge. Amy's the right call.
I agree.
It's,
They're messing up.
Just because they didn't show Rouge doesn't mean she's not coming.
No, I know. There's still hope.
Yeah.
There's still hope. I'm
Oh,
hoping
yeah.
here. I'm hoping here.
Oh.
Maybe we'll give Vanilla the Rabbit. Who knows? Who knows what's to stay.
That would be sick too.
There we go.
Blaze, remembering Blaze?
Blaze a Cat. Blaze a Cat's cool.
Vector the crocodile was one that I couldn't
Yeah.
get in my head.
The chain.
Yeah.
Bring the
Uh,
bee.
I mean, yeah. Now it's all
Espio.
open. Yeah,
Bring them
Maya
all
the
back.
Bee. Maya the Bee. I mean, you want?
Espio.
Okay, I got a D pool. I want Bean the Dynamite. Who
Oh
is
my god.
the duck from Sonic the Fighters?
Oh,
As
my
well as
God.
Bear the polar
Yeah.
bear. Oh, no,
Foxy.
yeah,
you want
yeah.
the
Bark the polar bear. That's what's.
Hunter, yeah.
I played a lot of
Oh.
Sonic Fighters. It's not good, but it's a fun game
Look.
to play. When you get a bunch of fighting game people and you can just goof around.
So
Right.
I got out of it
Yeah,
a
go. Yes.
clear view on a vision. What I got of it was a clear vision of what the movie wants to do with the Sonic timeline.
Oh, go ahead.
Because
you
Metal
mean?
Sonic, being there and Amy being there,
Yeah.
means that the next thing that has to happen is Sonic Rush, which is my
Oh.
favorite Sonic game.
Mm.
Ergo, I think here's my prediction. Viewers, America,
Yeah.
I predict that Blaze is going to be the next after credit reveal.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
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 Okay. Ian, what'd you get out of it?
What did I get out of it? Guys, I got a really nice end to a theater experience. Let's say that. I liked it. I had a fun time. I think that, so the person I watched this movie with had never seen any of the Sonic movies.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's fine.
Completely came in, and I said I think that this is the strongest of the movies thus far. This is the most cogent and clear-minded. We know. I agree with Nick. We know what we want to do with this now.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
And I'm ready for more. If they make more, I'll probably dip in because I don't know. Yeah, but it's a franchise that is really important as we've already said to my generation certainly. And if they keep doing needle drops from the good games, I'm gonna keep coming in being like, oh, are they gonna do this song? Yeah, I don't know. What about you guys? What's your takeaway, man?
I one right. Yeah, I think I spoiled it early on. I think the whole internet influencing modern media or big screen, big budget media was the most exciting thing for me to see. Especially during, I know probably just because I'm watching right now, it's going to go on YouTube. So I think the Beast games also it's interesting to see Hollywood finally pay attention to these people earned the views and the attention they're grabbing from people, and they're taking it serious. And I think Sonic is a big representation of that. But what I got out of it, I think, going back to still on the internet thing, is just I've sometimes wonder about the whole nostalgia era we're in, the NES classic, SNES class, all the PlayStation, all the nostalgia cash grab that's going on, where new ideas aren't really coming out. The old IP is the safe move right now, and no one wants to really experiment and make new stuff, which is kind of disappointing. But I think it's been interesting. I guess this movie to me gives me hope that we're not going in the wrong direction, because this is the first time I've seen a nostalgia piece, or one of the first times, or one of the few times, let's say. I'm going to say first, but where they actually understood the audience. It wasn't just let's make a Sonic movie and then cash grab a bunch of stuff at it. I know it's been 2 or 3. They had to make 2 good children's films, even though they did explore other things, but 2 good kids movies to finally make something true to the nostalgia that people are coming for, but like, just give me hope. Like, I mean, obviously the movie's been great through the numbers you see on the articles, so I'm hoping that this movie is the start to like people actually respecting the nostalgia they're trying to cash grab off of. Like, we want more. We all love Sonic. We want more Sonic, but we also want you to speak to us like we're human beings, not just credit cards, trying to like not think about the fact that we're 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
yeah, no. It's very. You're completely right about the internet stuff, and I would love to talk to you. You mentioned nostalgia. Nick and Ian are sick and tired of hearing about my thoughts about nostalgia used in media and my weird journey with coming to terms of where we're at and what it means for like art, like in general. So I would love to talk to you and hear your like take at some point. As for what I got out of it, besides the existential crisis, there's a lot of parallels to like I mean the core lesson here is enjoy life, like enjoy your time on Earth. There's a lot of characters who go through that storyline. Sonic 1 establishes that with Sonic, and Knuckles and Tails with 2, and then 3 here is like, what does that absence lead to? And it just leads to this cycle of vengeance. It's not really a cycle, but like the beginning of it, and how ultimately futile that like journey is, because at the end of it, the obvious end is, well, then just destroy everything. If you're not going to enjoy it all, you start impeding like on others, and they can't enjoy it either. Like it becomes a resentment, like as opposed to your own thing. You start resenting other people for enjoying life and all that. And then there's like, you get the small little thing with Sonic here of like, his powers are finally tested. He's no longer the fastest hedgehog on Earth. It's someone else is up there with them. Granted, it's teleportation rather than speed, but that's a whole nother thing. And how he now actually has to try and like commit. Like he can't just keep going freely through life anymore. There's work now to be done. And then with as we talked about, the after credits, the mid credits scene with Amy. Again, I think Amy's a great pick. Thinking about like, out of all the reasons for I don't think it should be Silver, one of them being, do we want another guy on the team? Like for real, like especially when there's so many kids out there, you need, everyone should feel like they can connect to a character. Definitely, especially if you're like, yes, it's not only marketed to us, and that's a great fan moment. It's also marketed to kids, and you want them to have fun with it and see themselves and everything. And that they should also put Rouge the Bat into that movie for no other reason than my own towards that I have to explain. We forgot to ask one other person. Emo Sonic, what did you get out of this?
Based.
Here.
Pretty good. All right, let's stop that.
Jesus Christ.
Legitimately great. Okay. I'm gonna advertise this stuff real quick because this was a very last minute bit. I paid that dude on Cameo to do it because he's just like, hey, any Christmas things, and I came up with this dumb idea because a friend of mine suggested it to me. So it's more his, and he over delivered. He gave me like a bunch of options for that, and I like huge. I went all out. He seemed like a real cool dude. It's a character he plays. Go follow Emo Sonic on Instagram. Me and my friends love his reels, and it's super funny, but also like a genuine love for a very specific era of Sonic. And he does great cameos. Apparently, like he's got all 5 stars, and he's over delivers on everything. So check that out. While we're doing, before we get to Aaron's plugs, what would you all? The final thing. What would you all recommend having this discussion that we had here, as well as having just seen Sonic 3? What would you recommend to the viewers at home? Anything at all to check
out? Sonic Adventure 2. If you haven't played Sonic Adventure 2, maybe you're a bit older, maybe you weren't alive when the movie came or the game came out. I mean, the movie pulls so much from that specific game, which I think we can I don't know. I think it's kind of the best Sonic, but that's a hot take. I don't know if it's a hot take, but
Pretty
that's
damn
one
good.
ones. Yeah, I think just go play Sonic Adventure 2. I still play it. I played it like not too long, maybe a couple months ago. I was playing it.
Nice.
Yeah,
Do you play
fun game.
do you play the GameCube version, the DX?
I got a
One or the original?
Dreamcast.
Oh, you got it on the Dream. Okay, yeah, we used to have
Oh yeah.
the directions. That's a better version. It runs better, like than they gave you one. Dude, that's cool. Yeah, we have a Dreamcast too, and like the coolest thing we have is Marvel vs. Capcom 1, and I'm
Nice.
like really fucking proud of that one because I'm a huge Marvel vs. Capcom guy.
Yeah.
But Ian, what would you recommend? Sound like you got something.
I think that's a great idea. The only other thing that's coming to mind is if you want something that's live action and animation mixed together, maybe watch one of Ralph Bakši's cartoons. There
Okay.
you get the or Howard the Duck. Like there's have you ever seen Howard? Has anyone here?
Yeah, I've seen Howard
the
the Duck. You're gonna recommend
Yeah.
Howard the Duck?
Well, they just released a new Howard the Duck short because
Are you just
Marvel
hoping
wants
that
your
they
money.
don't know what Howard the Duck is, or like?
I mean, the listener may not know what Howard the Duck is out there. I mean, how many people are eager to see Howard the Duck?
Man.
Is a duck who has a human female girlfriend, and that's all you need to know about that character. He's a Marvel character, and he's a duck, and he's voiced by Seth Green now, and he's
That's really weird.
yeah, that's wild. But hey, Seth Green got to star in a half hour of Marvel TV for Christmas, so go check that out if you want something more, I guess, with the anthropomorphic characters and humans, there's something for you. Nick, what do you think?
Nick.
Yeah, okay. I think for a recommendation, I would definitely do the YouTuber with shout out Matt Forte's YouTube channel where he does mini documentaries doing the history of comics and manga. And he had a wonderful one this year in regards to the entire history of Ken Penders and Archie Comics relationships with Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay.
I feel like it does bring up a lot of what we discussed in regards to nostalgia, the existential dread of seeing something you've been attached to for so long be with you longer than you expect. Thirdly, the very, like Aaron talked about, the marketing in the modern world. And how Ken Pender's whole lawsuit is about the detachment of modern marketing. I think Ken Pender's documentary is a wonderful look into not only comic, but I think in general, what it means for a property to outlive both media its own decade, and then later on its own place in media. I don't know. It's a really interesting documentary. Yeah, would definitely recommend it.
Interesting. It's sort of like, it reminds me of like where The Simpsons is at right now.
Yeah.
Where's Sonic at, Chris?
Where
are you at?
Where am I at? I would recommend Lythero, the streamer.
Oh yeah,
does a bunch of videos. I became a huge fan of his after his edited down streams of Marvel vs. Capcom 3, because like I mentioned before, I'm a huge Marvel vs. Capcom fan. He did a whole playthrough of Shadow the Hedgehog where he gets all the endings, but it's over like years. This was like a year-long development. It wasn't until recently that he finally got the neutral ending, and the edited versions I think are the best ones. Are on his YouTube channel, Lythero, and it features like all his friends. They're all doing voices. If you're a fan of the Sonic Adventure 2 fan dub, that's kind of famous for its improv, like around like the original, like old school Let's Play era.
Yeah.
This stuff is super entertaining. They're super funny. They're really good. They have a lot of people that they're just really funny people. And he gets animators because he's an animator himself. He gets all his animator friends to animate the skits, and they're fantastic. You got like YouTube animation legends like Pringus McDingus. Who's the one guy you were shocked Nick was on there?
Red Minus.
Red Minus is on there.
He does all
bunch.
the Yo Mama jokes videos, but he was also one of the original animators for like the fan animations for like Marvel vs. Capcom, the whole FGC fan animations back in the day. He was just one of those guys. Like he also came back out of hiatus 2 years ago, and it's like the craziest thing ever. And it was on like Thero's video. It was insane.
Yeah. Those are great stuff. I wish I could. I was trying to come up also with like a good discussion on nostalgia, but I feel like it's all just topics that have been randomly discussed in other podcasts and like random episodes and all that. And I don't feel like going on my diatribe today. So that's so I gotta.
Yeah, we did it.
We're not here for another 2 hours. So big shout out to Aaron. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
No, dude, of course. We would love to have you all again.
Huge honor, man.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll figure it another one that we can do if there's ever new Godzilla. But again, we wanted to stretch away from the just the kaiju stuff and be like, what else do you like? And Sonic 3 was just a great coincidence that happened. Go check. I knew the second thing I was going to recommend. Go check out his music because it's all phenomenal.
Thank you. Please do.
Relevant. I guess relevant to this episode. I have a song called Orca Adventure DX.
About advertising. You go on.
When I was making the song, it was a sample from. I just found a sample through like a sample pack online. It's like a gospel song. But as I was sampling, I was like, "This hella sounds like Emerald Coast from Sonic Adventure." And I really into that. So if you want some some Sonic sounding-ish music, look up that song. It's called Orca Adventure DX. It's on Spotify and everything, which you can find on my website, groovykaiju.com.
Yeah. It's on the album Radical Reptar. Really great album. Love it.
Thank you.
What was that song? I messaged you the song that I really like. It's got that R&B like really feeling to it.
Oh, Feelings for You.
Feelings for You, dude. That's a jam. That's a like.
Thank you.
That's like I get emotional. Like I get all groovy about that. Go check him out. All right, we did. We
there you are.
We have no sign off other than I do this. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Hot.